Jersey with the New York Sirens playing host to the Minnesota Frost.
And the puck is down. Here we go. The first meeting of the season between the Sirens and the Frost. Kelly Panic takes a spill, and Minnesota a bit lucky there to clear the zone before New York was able to set something up. Hensley steers it over to Grace Zumwinkle. Cut off by O'Neill. And Zumwinkle collects. Trying to feed it over to Kendall Coyne-Schofield, who has to come back to collect the puck. First meeting this season as we get an icing. That shot wide and off the end boards. Colton Kova trying to settle it down. Puck pops out to the neutral zone. Warren Bernard sends it up. Archie lost it momentarily, and Britta Curl turns it the other direction. It's Curl who gains the zone for the Frost. Abby Hustler checking over her shoulder, crunched into the boards by Bernard. Now Hartshee, but they're in offside. And he's certainly got a lot of tools to work with in terms of offensive firepower. In fact, 4 Frost players are in the top 10 in the league in terms of points. Katie Knoll able to hold the zone for the Frost. Himlarova. Nifty little pass over to Shisheva. And now Knoll tries to send it deep. Instead, Allie Simpson will clear it for the Sirens. Katie Knoll having a breakout year, making the most of some increased ice time due to some of the losses. There's a turnover here as Savannah Norcross tries to drive toward the net. Norcross, stick handling.
Good little cutback there from Savannah.
Kayla Vespa up high for Simpson. Simpson flings one toward the net, pad save. That quick shot just wide. Nyland Person with a laser.
Hit the net, that might be in.
Grace Zumwinkle. And Micah Zandy Hart will settle things down for New York. And Shirkowski lost it to Coyne-Schofield. Mae Batherson. Over to Kendall Cooper. Sirens will send it deep as Batherson will now try to break it out for the Frost. Hit the skates of Abby Hustler. Of course, if you are somewhat new to PWHL action, you may not know there are 2 new teams this year that did not exist last year. The Vancouver Golden Eyes and the Seattle Torrent. And with expansion came a huge amount of turnover on every single team. None more than the Sirens.
A nice step there from Sid Moore. And yet, to your point, there was a lot of turnover.
Colton Kova back to the one-timer Simpson. And it deflected wide. Second effort. Sirens win the draw back to Simpson. And that shot off the end boards. Jinsey Rose trying to track down the loose puck in her own end. Fighting off Katie Knoll. Knoll lost her stick, has to go to the bench for a new one. And Peyton Levis feeds it across for Simpson. She'll send it deep. Four minutes gone and pretty back and forth here so far. New York trying to break out clean. It's Levis who gains the zone for the Sirens. Makes it off the end boards. Wheeler, Levis tried to connect with Vespa, couldn't get the shot off. And Vanessa Upson will clear it for the Frost. Jamie Bourbonnais. Batherson. Budarak trying to feed it over to Upson. New York able to break out. Vespa lost it to O'Donohoe. O'Donohoe, a bit of a shove there on Vespa. jam away along the boards. And eventually it's Norcross. Across for Nyland Person. Both of these teams coming off a win. Minnesota, the first 6-goal performance we've seen by any team in the league so far, with a 6-2 win on Sunday at home against Seattle. They gained the zone. Kelly Panic tried to feed it in front. Good defensive stick by the Sirens, and Kaylee Osborne will freeze the puck. Sirens win the draw on their own end. Point Schofield. Battling with Kristen O'Neill. O'Neill wins that one and skates it out. Izzy, a shot fought off by Osborne.
Lots of quick face-off plays here. It's like the 4th one today.
Head on a swivel, right?
Yeah.
Madison Bazal hands it off to Brooke Becker. Hustler took a shot into the board. She'll head to the bench for a change. Izzy up high for Shisheva. Shisheva working in, takes the shot, second effort save. Osborne is down, but kept the puck out.
What a move there.
Shisheva trying to keep this alive for the Frost. Katie Knoll, 2 goals in her last game. Back to the point, that shot bouncing wide. Knoll gets it back.
New York's got to just settle here.
Now the Frost turned it up a notch. Osborne up to the task. Grace Zumwinkle had 2 goals in Sunday's win. Katie Knoll, her first multi-goal game in Sunday's win. And again, New York hasn't played a game in 10 days. Something to consider here as this game progresses. Claire Buderak play it out. Had it taken away by Jinsey Rose. Maddie Wheeler connects with Levis. Into the zone for Sarah Fillier. Just out of the reach of Allie Simpson, who is streaking toward the net.
Good try there.
Levis gets it back. Couple of good looks at both ends of the ice. Again, New York winning 5 of 6 meetings last year with the eventual champions. Ken Clee saying, yeah, sometimes teams just have your number. Hard to explain. But also a nod to the parity that exists in this league. New York on the breakout. O'Neill gaining speed and gains the zone now for the Sirens. O'Neill from behind the net. Colleen Schofield sends it deep before heading for a change. Colleen Schofield about to play in her 4th Olympics. Already has a gold medal and 2 silvers to her name. She wants another gold.
Wasn't enough, right? What an incredible career, though.
Oh, right in front, the wide open net, and Britta Curl makes no mistake. Osborne came way out to play it. The puck goes around, and a heads-up play ends up in a 1-0 lead for the Frost.
And that's just, I think, a miscommunication there between the defenseman and the goalie. And again, something that we talked about with Coach Fargo before the game, and they were working on their breakouts, working on the goalie playing the puck. Osborne is a player that likes, or a goaltender that likes to come out and play that puck. There, she just banks it along the wall. There's no defenseman there to pick it up, and it ends up in the back of the net. It's going to happen, unfortunately, right, when you have a goalie that plays the puck that way.
Ooh. Well, that is a tough pill to swallow for the Sirens. And now they'll try to answer quickly. That shot fought off by Hensley. There's Casey O'Brien looking to equalize. Back comes Curl through the neutral zone. Stops up. Goes back for Himlarova. Himlarova centering pass. Abby Hustler had her shot blocked on the way. Been a long time between whistles. And New York could certainly use one now to regroup after that.
A lot of perimeter play, too.
Back comes Maddie Wheeler.
Wheeler's got a rogue lace on her pants.
Yeah, a little dangerous when you look at that. Doesn't seem to bother her right now, but keep an eye on Maddie Wheeler. Now Shisheva taken down on the way. Allison Simpson also fell to the ice momentarily. And now Simpson up along the boards. Wheeler, Fillier, they play catch. Jinsey Rose, stick handling in. Tried the center. Good defensive work there by Upson. Cut off by Anna Bardman. This is another one of those areas that Greg Fargo said they've been working on lately. Breakouts, number one. Number two, sustaining ozone play.
And I think this line does a tremendous job of that. They take pride in their role. They get in. They grind another team down. And right now would be a perfect opportunity, right, to start trying to change one at a time. You've got them hemmed in. You've got them tired. Start changing those forwards one at a time.
Norcross the shot right in front. Rose trying to go hard to the net. And somehow Hensley keeps it out.
Or don't, score on your own.
A 1-0 lead off a bit of a miscommunication. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I know her presence is certainly missed. She's a phenomenal teammate, an excellent leader to your point, and it's someone, whether you're on the road or you're at home, it's a big heartbeat in your locker room, and so when they're not there, you feel that.
About to be a 4-time Olympian, has 7 World Championship gold medals, and of course 2 Walter Cup titles to her name. But good to hear that it's just illness that she's dealing with, and certainly hoping to have her back sooner rather than later.
And also good to hear they didn't have more players go down, because there's a lot of that going around, and they had a couple players, but coach sounded hopeful that they're hopefully through the worst of it.
Yeah. So Lee Steckline not making the trip, as is Maddie Rooney, who's back home in Minnesota as well, falling victim to a similar illness. So Marlene Boissonat is backing up tonight for Nicole Hensley. Kelly Panic looking for a lane, flings it off her backhand. Osborne the save. Bookbinder across from Warren. Panic takes a shot from distance, found the pad of Osborne, and that shot into her glove.
Good try there, good look from Minnesota. Maybe a little more jump from Warren, yeah?
Izzy's not going to miss that passing opportunity often. Certainly Britta Curl's not going to miss that shot too often. By the way, Curl leading the league in points. Taylor Gerard had a partial breakaway, ends up passing it there to Cherkowski. Would you have liked to see Gerard take that shot?
She had it. She second-guessed herself. She tried to throw a little move in there. I get it. She saw what she saw, but she should have just dropped her shoulder and driven to the net there, in my opinion. And she knows it, too. She knows it as soon as she got back to the bench.
Bit too unselfish in that case. Nice idea to try to feed Cherkowski, who of course was your player to watch. Jinsey Rose off the boards, but it comes out to the neutral zone. Fillier trying to send it right back in. Maddie Wheeler somehow able to stay onside. Levis' shot fought off by Hensley. Colton Kova takes a shot. Hensley squeezes the pads. Back come the Frost. Heisey over to Curl. Curl tried the shot. It was blocked on the way. And we are going to get a penalty. Pops out to Wheeler, and the Sirens will try to regroup and set something up here with about 1:15 left on the advantage. Wheeler trying to make a move around Becker. Becker wasn't fooled. Kristen O'Neill and Kelly Panic will clear. Back comes Cherkowski. In for New York and around Kendall Cooper. Stops up to the point for Bourbonnais. Cherkowski trading places with Wheeler. Back to the point. One-timer, Bourbonnais missed the net. Wheeler. Sydney Morin trying to do some damage here, shorthanded. Check that, make it Knoll, who gets taken down, and we are going to get a penalty on the Sirens now, as Knoll was cross-checked from behind.
That's just a penalty that you maybe don't necessarily want to take. Obviously, is that Fillier? I think she's coming in there defending her team. Oh no, sorry, it's Wheeler coming in defending her teammate. Maybe a little bit of salesmanship there as well. I know a thing or two about that, but standing up for your teammate, but a penalty that far away from the offensive net is not necessarily something that you want to see, especially when you're on the power play, right? And this is where Heisey can be really dangerous. Extra space, extra time.
Cherkowski trying to fight off Hustler. O'Neill up to Levis. Battle along the boards as Heisey tries to dig it out and does. And the power play begins for the Minnesota Frost, brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Morin. Hustler drops her Heisey. Heisey back to Hustler. Hustler tries the short side, went around the net. Heisey to Morin. Fillier picks up the loose puck. In all alone, O'Brien shoots and scores! Casey O'Brien with the jailbreak goal, and we are tied at 1.
And that is an incredibly hard move to make. Casey O'Brien is a lefty. She's got Britta Curl right in her back pocket. And when she gets to the net, she's going to go back across the grain, right through the 5-hole. That is a difficult play to make, but she protects it. She brings the puck all the way back across her body. Right there, she gets her hand back on it, and as soon as Hensley moves across the crease, she slides it 5-hole. That is a perfectly executed breakaway from O'Brien right there.
New York, after this game, will pack up and head down to D.C. That game on Sunday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time, at Capital One Arena against the Montreal Victoire.
That'll be a fun one. That's a good market.
So many of these takeover stops have tried to prove themselves as a good hockey market, and specifically a good PWHL market. It's been great to see the kind of fan support. Really people traveling from all over to be a part of the takeover tour. It's been awesome.
I'm making my way to Detroit as a fan for the next stop in Detroit. It'll be my first opportunity to see a women's game in Detroit. I'm very excited.
Very cool. I got to call the first game at Little Caesars Arena there a couple of years ago. And at the time, they set an American attendance record for a women's professional game.
And it's so cool, right? We talk about the next generation, which it's obviously, these women and players have built a league for those players to play at, but now these women have arrived. And so to play in these stadiums that they grew up watching men play on and do it themselves and then be able to play in front of family and friends, it's incredible.
Final minute of play here in the first period. In case you're just joining us, a bit of a fluky goal that led to Minnesota scoring first. Followed up by a shorthanded goal, the third of the season already for the Sirens. Heavy hit by Bourbonnais late on Curl. Both players went crashing into the boards. Maybe time for one final push from the Sirens. O'Brien back to Fillier. Fillier shot. Hensley can't see through traffic. She's down. Play continues. And Minnesota lucky to break it out of their own end with their netminder on her backside.
He's got a little chippy there at the end, too. That's two players that can go at it. And Kalti and Curl there. Nice little shot. Kaltinkova's just going to the net. Curl doesn't like it, although she does help her a little bit in hitting her own goalie. But neither one of those ladies are going to back down from a fight.
Woo! The table has been set for the rest of this game. Tied up at 1 apiece. One goal for the Frost, one goal for the Sirens. And here we go on period number 2. Opening face-off won by the Sirens, and that puck goes quickly on goal. Hensley will opt to cover. What do you think the message was from Greg Fargo then?
I think Coach Fargo likes what he sees right now. He looks like a happy camper behind that bench. Although he always looks pretty happy.
Panic over to Coyne Schofield. Zumwinkle across for Bookbinder. Bookbinder stops up. Panic sends it deep for Coyne Schofield. Coyne Schofield. Zumwinkle centering pass right in front and they score! Osborne looked like she had it, but it trickles through. And Minnesota with another early goal in the period. Kelly Panic making it 2-1.
And it looks just like another breakdown or another miscommunication, right? The puck comes down. It's a nice psycho play. Minnesota's in a good attacking position, almost like a triangle, a pyramid. That's how you want to attack. That's how you want to be. But she's wide open in front of the net. The weak side D's missing. The weak side forward's missing. And she makes no mistake. Osborne does hit there, but just not enough on the puck. It sneaks behind her, but that's a defensive breakdown from New York.
So just 35 seconds in, Kelly Panic gives her team the lead. We saw this from Minnesota on Sunday, their last time out, their ability to come out in the first couple of minutes and truly start on time and find a way to score.
I'm not sure what New York was complaining about, actually, because it didn't look like the puck got stuck, but it doesn't hurt to try. I'm a firm believer.
Maybe plead their case for something else down the road. Natalie Bookbinder's shot. Becker tries to feed Curl below the goal line. Puck comes out to neutral ice, and Bookbinder will get there first. Kendall Coyne Schofield with the secondary assist on the Panic goal. And that brings her season total up to 13 points on the season, just one behind her teammate Britta Curl for the league lead.
And that's a mom, by the way.
Incredible. She just seems to get better.
Set to attend her first Olympics as a mom.
That's important to her. It's her 4th Olympics overall, but first as a mom. Shisheva working in. Osborne there standing tall.
Shisheva's been knocking on the doorstep tonight. That's her 3rd or 4th chance right in front of Osborne.
Shisheva, an Olympian in her own right for her homeland of Czechia, along with Kaltunkova. And that lady, Himlerova. Shisheva crunched along the boards by Simpson. Shisheva banks it off the boards up high for Kendall Cooper. Kendall Cooper tries a shot looking for a deflection, but it goes wide. New York hemmed in its own zone for a lengthy shift. finally, Jinsey Rose will send it the length of the ice, but Minnesota gets there first, so it'll go for icing. How about these 4 players who all have a point tonight and are all top 10 in the league in total points this season?
Well, and that's impressive production, right? That's at least a point per game for all those ladies there, and that's in a league where goals are hard to come by and so are points. That's impressive production. So to do that night in and night out is no easy task. And oh, by the way, they have production from just about their entire lineup, so it's not just them, but they are just producing at a mass rate, those 4.
Came into the night, I should say, leading the league in goals, and have added 2 more to that total. We've got 36 now on the season. Grace Zumwinkle, little shoulder check. Around the boards for Coyne Schofield. Kelly Panic sends it right back in now for the Frogs. Zumwinkle, a drive that goes high and off the glass. Kept in by Coyne Schofield momentarily, but Rose cut off by Zumwinkle. Zumwinkle with Coyne Schofield net front. Coyne Schofield! How did that stay out? My goodness! Bouncing puck into the glove of Osborne, and a sigh of relief from the Sirens netminder after that.
I think there might be a piece of glass on the goal line or something. It's not a great turnover, but Kendall Coyne Schofield right on the doorstep. Looks like Osborne just got her heel on it there, and it slides just behind her. Wow.
That close to being a 3-1 game.
All stemming from a turnover.
Yes.
That's why you got to take care of that puck.
Micah Zandyhart looking to settle her team down. Bizal finds Budarak. Zandyhart rings it around the boards. Over to Taylor Gerard. Gerard walking in, takes a shot, she scores! What a shot! And we are tied up again.
Shoot the puck and good things happen. Get it to the net. You never know. That's a great shot from Taylor Gerard. She walks the blue line, takes her space, gets into the spot, and makes no mistake. That's a great play. Wastes no time. That's a strong power forward move. That's an incredible shot. Puts it right where you want to put it. That's a goal scorer's goal. And she's just reminding everyone why her name should be one that we pay attention to. Great goal from Taylor Gerard. I love Taylor Gerard. I think she's a great hockey player.
Minnesota looking to respond quickly. But the Sirens are buzzing after that one. Taylor Gerard with a natural hat trick back on November 22nd in what was the Sirens season opener. That goal here tonight brings her total to 5 on the campaign.
She has a fun and interesting backstory. Her boyfriend is in the AHL, and they train together all summer long. So she's got a very competitive counterpart and partner to push her in the gym and compete with.
Well, I'm sure he's watching somewhere, if not here tonight. Although you said he's got his own hockey schedule going on, so
yeah,
might catch it later. That shot, and Hensley will cover up. It was Dale Ross looking to make it a Sirens lead for the first time tonight. Twice Minnesota has had the lead. Twice the Sirens have responded to tie it. Shots are even at 11 apiece. We've seen some nastiness unfold throughout the night as well. Like you said, the intermission, this game has everything.
You feel it. You feel the energy from the crowd. You feel the energy from the players. And arguably, this is, aside from a draft pick, this is the first time that New York is playing for something of significance in a while. So I think these players are excited. They want to go into the
Shisheva shot sails over the net.
They want to go into the break, right? The Olympic break in a good spot. And they're playing great hockey right now.
They are. 4 straight wins for the Sirens. First time in team history that they've done that. Technically entered the night 4th in the standings, but it is a log jam of teams behind Boston. So every point matters right now.
And I think it's interesting what Boston's been able to do, because I think from an analytical perspective, Boston was a big question mark at the beginning of the year from what those pieces looked like, and they've been dominant out of the gate, right? Maybe not the superstars like some of these other teams have, but they've been really successful. Obviously, they're in first place, and they've found a way to play.
Zumwinkle back to Becker. Her shot blocked by Kaltenkova. Cooper keeps it in, slides it over to Becker. Cooper, the blast, right into the breadbasket of Kaylee Osborne. Greg Fargo in his 2nd year as bench boss here in New York, and talked to all the players, and they love him here.
And I think that speaks to who he is as a person, as a coach, but also his care for the group and his willingness to learn and to grow and want to be here long term and make it a program that's going to work long term.
Coyne Schofield drops for Panic. Panic centering in front. It's Zumwinkle. And Osborne up to the task. Some conversations happening between both sides after that one. Zumwinkle just jamming away the deny.
Great save from Osborne there. Gets her foot on the post, stands tall. That's a tough save to make, a couple efforts.
It's a tie game back at the Rock. Stay with us. Grace Zumwinkle scored twice her last time out and nearly had another goal just now.
She makes a nifty little play here. Quick shot. Nope. Pulls it back. Goes to the net. That's actually the highest percentage chance play to make to try and score a goal, which I learned in the PWHL. Men's and women's crossing the Royal Road. Good little play though. She pulls up, looks like she's going to shoot the puck, has a player going to the net. Good save by Osborne.
That was a good sequence for sure. Osborne standing tall. That shot deflects high and off the glass. Gerard tries to play it out. Cherkowski gains the zone for the Sirens. O'Neal streaking toward the net, but Hensley grabbed it with the glove. What a game.
Just back and forth, back and forth. Nice play there, too, from Cherkowski.
And Cherkowski, one of your players to watch. Certainly had her fingerprints on this game.
She just creates so much, whether it's in the offensive zone or creating lanes and space from her defensive zone. She makes the right decision with the puck almost every time.
Abby Hustler off the boards and into the zone for Curl. Heisey streaking toward the net, but a good defensive play by Bourbonnais, who's taken down by Hustler. No call made. Now the Sirens have it. And Hensley will cover.
A little bit of chaos there. I thought they might call a penalty behind the play on Bourbonnais. Or sorry, on the play on Bourbonnais. She got knocked down behind the play. Looks like she's okay, but...
Yeah, it was a heavy collision. Here's another look.
Yeah, it doesn't really have the puck either, but I think innocent enough that it was coincidental, maybe. We had another one at the other end, too. Calty was forechecking and made a nice play in the wall.
Panic stretches the ice for Coyne Schofield, who gains the zone now for the Frost. Around the boards, back over to Panic, tried to feed Zumwinkle. Nyland Person will play it ahead for Gerard. May Batherson tried to fling it in off her backhand. Nyland Person for Gerard. Nearing the midway point of this game, a back and forth affair here in Newark, New Jersey.
Nifty little behind the back play there from Panic.
Allie Simpson. Kayla Vespa. Bothered by Cooper. Simpson flings it toward the net, looking for a deflection, but it hit Cooper in front. Simpson tries again. Bookbinder. Upson skates it through the neutral zone. Back and forth we go on a Friday night in New Jersey. Allie Simpson gains the blue line now. Her pass sails through the crease, but nobody there for New York. 4-game win streak on the line for the Sirens, who have been off for the last 10 days. Minnesota looking to build off a 6-2 win their last time out, which was Sunday at home. Caitlin O'Donohoe. Here's Jinsey Rose leading the attack. Rose, her pass cut off by Katie Knoll. Shisheva, it's a race to the puck. Shisheva, stick handling in, and Osborne with a great save. Shisheva looking for her first of the season. Two-time Walter Cup champion with the Frost. Was actually taken by Vancouver in the expansion draft. Centering pass right in front to Shisheva. Broken up by Koltenkova. A blast from Knoll blocked. Dale Ross in transition. Back comes O'Brien. They jam away along the boards. Morin trying to feed it over to Shisheva. I was going to say Shisheva was taken by Vancouver in the expansion draft, but then traded back to the Frost right before the season started. They were sad to lose her and were willing to make a trade to get her back.
I love that. It's got to make you feel loved.
Absolutely. Back comes Casey O'Brien. Her pass disrupted by Curl. Curl picks up the loose puck. O'Neill into the zone now for New York. O'Neill to Zandy Hart. Zandy Hart. Nyland Person tried to make a move. The puck now loose behind the Frost net. Zandy Hart setting up O'Neill for the one-timer. Pad save, Hensley. O'Neill. Nyland Person. Spins off Curl. Back to Gerard. O'Neill, first shot just wide. New York with a lengthy shift in the O-zone. Partial change now for the Sirens, who trying to keep the Frost hemmed in. Sirens trying to take advantage of some tired Frost legs. Dale Ross with a shot that goes wide.
And they pulled it off too. Now they got some fresh bodies out there and some really tired Frost legs.
Maddie Wheeler. Archie pinned along the boards. And finally, Britta Curl will skate it through the neutral zone and flip it deep before going to the bench. Probably trying to catch her breath. Right back come the Sirens. It's Wheeler. Archie gets it back momentarily. Sirens look like they've found another level to their game.
They're stepping it up too, and another good play there. Osborne plays the puck up. That's an example of when that goes well, right? You can immediately attack the other direction and try to catch that team off guard again.
Osborne opting to keep it moving.
That's a hard skill. There aren't many goaltenders in this league that can move the puck like that.
She doesn't want a D-zone face-off to deal with after the way her team's playing in the O-zone.
Keep it moving.
Colleen Schofield sends it down the ice. And finally, the Frost will go for a change. Here comes Allie Simpson. Fillier sends it deep. Simpson joining the attack. Hands it off to Fillier. Now Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais fanned on the shot, and puck comes all the way back into the Sirens' end. Sydney Morin down low, but out of the reach of Budarak. And Upson. That fourth line on the ice now for Ken Klee. That puck bouncing dangerously, but just wide of the cage.
And she's a good fit in New York too, right? She seems happy. She seems like she likes where she's at, and that's you love to see that when you get a rookie that lands in a market where it immediately clicks. And who knows, maybe she's fortunate enough to spend her whole career here.
Zandy Hart hands off to Nyland Person. Shot blocked by Shisheva, who gets right back up, but now heads toward the bench. Opts to stay on instead. It's gotta hurt.
Does not feel good. I always say when you don't hear it, you know it hurts because it hits something soft.
Ooh. And that shot from Heisey just over the net. Taylor Heisey already with 1 assist on the night. Yeah, I would agree with the coach. There's a lot to like about their play these last few minutes.
Yeah, they're making things happen. I wouldn't change much, to his point.
Kristen O'Neill works it through the neutral zone. Natalie Bookbinder collects in her own end.
O'Neill's fun to watch, isn't she?
Certainly is. Spent the last 2 years with Victoire and now finding a home here in New York. O'Neill over to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais trying to feed Gerard in front. She was tied up. Abby Hustler will flip it in for Minnesota. Bit of a chess match at this point with two evenly matched teams. Coyne Schofield drops for Panic. Panic shot blocked.
That one also doesn't feel good, but it's a smart play by Coyne. Disappear the puck behind you, try to take the D with you going to the net. It was a good, smart hockey play she tried to make. Panic just couldn't find the seam and ended up taking it in the back of the leg, but that's a good play there. No interference, keep your hands down, go to the net, drive the D back.
Now Panic trying to do the same with Coyne Schofield streaking toward the net. Instead, she'll take it back to the blue line and now feed it down low. It's Zumwinkle. Rose up ahead for Kaltenkova, who has Fillier on the move. Fillier fanned on the shot. O'Brien gets it back to Jinsey Rose. 3.5 to play here in the middle frame. We were tied at 1 after 1. Will we be tied at 2 after 2? The New York captain up ahead for Kaltenkova, which is in offside.
Lots of good opportunities, lots of good plays for both sides here, right? It's truly going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes, right?
We step aside momentarily. All tied up at 2. Well, Kendall Coyne Schofield truly does it all, and unfortunately, it ended up a little bit painful for her on this one.
Nice play here, though. Drop pass. She actually gets behind the defenseman. Bourbonnais drops down to try and block it. It ends up hitting Coyne in the back of the leg, but I think Panic is trying to pass to Coyne Schofield, give it back to her, or get a shot with a tip deflection with her going to the net. Ends up hitting her right in the back of the leg, but probably will leave a bruise.
That's
good smart play there from the captain.
Yeah, Kendall Coyne Schofield had 24 points last year. Half of them were goals, and she currently leads the league right now with 8 goals on the season.
Just incredible.
33 years young and no signs of slowing down anytime soon.
33 years young, a mom on the side, leads the league in scoring,
Oh,
four-time
yeah.
Olympian.
Two-time Walter Cup champ.
She's really got to stop slacking off.
Step it up.
I keep making the mistake, too. I have to apologize to her. I've called her Coin a couple times because I grew up knowing her endearingly as Coiner. But it is Coin Schofield now.
Lengthy battle along the boards as they jam away, and the ref eventually blows a whistle.
Yeah, and Wheeler, a rookie who's still looking also to get her first goal. I feel like that's always the biggest monkey on your back, right?
Yeah.
Like you're known for producing. You know you can do it. It just needs to happen.
Frost trying to break out that pass just behind Abby Hustler. Puck pops up into the air as O'Brien tries to settle. Sirens unable to hold the zone. Hustler over to Heisey. Heisey in for the Frost. First shot blocked by Fillier. You can hear the active crowd getting involved here midway through this game, or almost at the end of the second period, I should say. Nyland Person takes a shot that deflects high and off the glass.
Good try there, just a little high, maybe get flipped up on her stick a little funky at the end, but that was a good drive to the net and a good try with placement.
Final minute of the period, and a very 4,200 here to cheer on the Sirens. Kristen O'Neill. Bourbonnais able to hold the zone now for New York. Takes it behind the net. Stops up and looks for a lane. Jamie Bourbonnais off the boards. Taken away by Batherson. Final 20 seconds of the period. And icing the call.
Good opportunity for New York here. Plenty of time on the clock to put something together. They've got the right personnel. They've done a pretty good job tonight on faceoffs thus far. No surprise, they come out with Fillier, Calty, O'Brien. Good opportunity to try and get something.
That's a good-looking fan right there. Got the Liberty headband and all.
That guy means business.
Allie Simpson working in from the circle. Rebound comes out. Puck is still loose. Hensley finds it. A late flurry of activity in front of the Frost netminder. Able to keep it out with 10 ticks on the clock. Final 10 seconds. Panic tries to win the draw. New York able to hold. Simpson, the one-timer, deflects up, and play continues as the horn sounds on period number 2. All tied up at 2, but did either team have any edge to that period in your mind?
I thought both teams played really well. It was pretty evenly matched from the beginning to the end. There, New York got a few good chances there at the end, but I thought both teams played well. It was a good, hard-fought mix down the middle, in my opinion. It's going to come down to the third period, obviously, and I think if I'm Minnesota, I just got to keep my legs moving for one more period before I get home.
Yeah, New York doing a much better job of slowing down those speedy Frost players. When we come back, Abby will catch up with the goal scorer for New York from that period, Taylor Gerard, with her 5th of the season as New York pulls into a tie for the second time tonight. attitude at the heart of this league. I mean, you want to win. Everyone's competitive, but these are the fun ones, right?
Yeah, and to Coach's point, anything on the road is gravy. You obviously want to finish the season above 500, but anytime you can win on the road and you know you can take care of business at home, it's gravy. Minnesota is putting themselves in a position here to win a hockey game. They're playing great.
Minnesota wins the draw. Batherson, a shot. Looked like it found its way to the pads of Osborne. These two teams will meet again next Sunday in downtown St. Paul. Britta Curl tried to play it ahead for Hustler. Blocked on the way. New York tries to turn it up the other direction. Brooke Becker will send it in now for the Frost as both sides go for a change. Sarah Fillier. Trying to go cross ice for Lauren Bernard. Back comes Himlerova. Himlerova shot. Rebound.
Great job driving the net there. Almost had a second opportunity.
Heavy collision that sent Koltunkova to the ice. She gets up and appears to be okay. Delayed penalty now. Extra skater on for the Frost. Natalie Bookbinder feeds it into the corner. Bernard the touch, and the whistle blows.
Minnesota's got the second-ranked power play, and the Sirens have the 7th-ranked penalty kill.
Got some not-so-special teams for the Sirens. This power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. And an early clear for the Sirens. Batherson up to Coyne Schofield. She works it ahead for Panic. Panic gains the zone. Cross for Zumwinkle, whose shot went high.
Good zone entry there from Minnesota.
Batherson down for Zumwinkle. Centering pass, the puck is loose. Comes back behind the net as Panic feeds it out front to Batherson. Cooper. Batherson down low for Panic. Panic working in, looking for a deflection. Cooper over to Panic once more. Batherson tries the drive. Peyton Levis with the block.
Laying it out there. That's the sacrifice of being on the special teams. That does not feel good. We've seen a few of those that game. But that's the difference maker right there. Blocking shots.
Back come the Frost. Heisey into the corner. Battle along the boards, won by the Sirens. And just able to clear the zone. 20 seconds to go on the advantage. Abby Hustler will send it in for Heisey. Another clear for the Sirens and an impressive penalty kill.
Minnesota looking a little frustrated there. A few of the players with their heads hung, a little dejected.
Just the one shot allowed on that power play. And now Kristen O'Neill. Cherkowski. Shot into the glove. It was Taylor Gerard looking for her second of the game. Sirens win the draw back to Bourbonnais. Natalie Bookbinder trying to play it out now for the Frost. Kayla Vespa sends it right back in. Working in, centering pass. Unable to connect there with Savannah Norcross.
This is that fourth line for New York again, just going to work down low.
Brooke Becker trying to skate it out cleanly for the Frost. Heads up play by Koltunkova, trying to feed O'Brien, but the pass disrupted. Koltunkova gets it back.
there from Koltenkova. They look great tonight. They look rested. They look energetic. They're playing the body.
Koltenkova with it behind the net. Over to O'Brien. O'Brien up high for Zandy Hart. Defended by Zumwinkle. Kept in by Fillier before she gets crunched into the boards. Boyne Schofield to skate it out for the Frost. Thank you, Abby. Yeah, there's no question that she was worthy of being the first overall pick. Osborne just took a tumble to the ice. Luckily for the Sirens, they were able to break that puck out.
Looks like she might have gotten clipped there, too.
Koltenkova, again, the first overall pick coming out of Czechia, but actually played at Colgate for Greg Fargo, so he was well aware of the kind of talent that they were getting. We'll step aside momentarily and come right back to a tie game. We play on an even strength. Shots just about even. The score even at 2. It's been a fun one tonight across the PWHL. Britta Curl flips it in now for the Frost. Bourbonnais up to Koltenkova. And to your point, Koltenkova, one of several Czech players, not only on this team, but in the league now.
And I think that it's just been incredible to see what pro hockey in North America has done for the explosion of hockey across the globe, but especially the development of hockey in some of these other countries, right? Czech, Sweden, Finland. It's been incredible for them. Czech now has one of the most competitive teams in the world. They're going into the Olympics that way because they have players that have been able to come over and have a living and develop and play with great players day in and day out. And they're among some of the best players in the league.
And coached, by the way, by a PWHL coach, Carla McLeod.
Correct. So I think it's great for the game. I think it's only going to continue. I think as this league continues to expand.
Cherkowski, poke check Hensley, she's down. Cherkowski trying to find it. Nyland Person, back to Gerard. Gerard looking for a deflection in front, blocked on the way. Kendall Cooper has it stripped by Cherkowski. Boyne Schofield picks it up, skates it the other direction. Boyne Schofield, the second effort. What a save by Osborne.
They got to slow her down. She's in her groove. They have to find a way to get bodies in front of Coyne and slow her down, or she's going to make it hurt. They're giving her too many opportunities here.
Not a smart idea against the league leader in goals with 8. Bourbonnais will lead the rush now for the Sirens. Bourbonnais stops up in the corner. Sends it down low for Harchie. Harchie up high. That shot just wide. Dale Ross with a nice little wrister.
She's having a nice game tonight.
Second game of her PWHL career. Making the most of her opportunity. Ross unable to hold the zone on that one, but will race back to get it in her own end. Nearing the halfway point of this third period. Twice tonight, the Frost have led by 1, and each time the Sirens have answered. Koltenkova drops her O'Brien. O'Brien makes a nifty move, but sends it high off the glass. Upson up ahead for Budarak. Good defensive stick by Simpson. O'Brien trying to poke it out of the zone and does so. Now across for Fillier on the attack. Here comes Sarah Fillier.
Smart play there from Fillier. A lot of players there will just dump the puck.
Sydney Moore, and now to skate it out for Minnesota. Taylor Heisey. Heisey takes a lap, feeds Becker, who had it blocked by her teammate as Hustler was in front. Hustler pinched along the boards by Simpson. Becker will collect it in the neutral zone and hand it off to Cooper. Kelly Panic from the slot. Shot, save, Osborne.
This line is getting dangerous here for Minnesota. They're back out again. Coyne Schofield's down in the corner. They got to shut these guys down.
Morin shoots it wide. Bookbinder. Down low with Panic, now below the goal line.
Looks like Simpson and Curl might have had their skates linked in the corner there for a second.
Kaylee Osborne has settled in nicely after allowing the first goal of this game. And they're in offside. Minnesota with a couple of grade A looks, but we stay tied at 2 midway through the third period. 8.5 to play here in a tie game that has been highly entertaining. Nyland Person takes the shot from distance, rebound chance, open net, but Hensley is down. Bookbinder trying to shovel it to the opposite corner now for the Frost. Both sides with some good opportunities. Kaltenkova tried to send it into the zone. Instead, it's Britta Curl for the Frost. This has been a tight matchup all night long as Heisey has it taken away by Bourbonnais. Now Kaltenkova, who gains the line for New York. Bourbonnais sends it over to Gerard, who's crunched along the boards by Cooper. Puck comes out to Panic, who plays it off the boards. Fillier wins the draw back to Zandy Hart, who's unable to hold the zone. Ross plays it ahead for Fillier. Working in. Pass disrupted by Zumwinkle, who now heads to the bench for a change. 6.5 to go here at the Rock. Kaltenkova in all alone, drops her O'Brien, and I think it hit the post. They wave it off immediately, but a brilliant opportunity for New York.
In a series of some of the most unselfish plays I think I've seen in a long while. Both those players could have shot the puck. They opted to pass. Not a bad play, but hit the post. You can't score if you don't shoot that thing, though.
We've seen a couple of New York players tonight, maybe a bit too unselfish. Jinsey Rose trying to fight off Abby Hustler. A good forecheck by Wheeler to keep it alive for New York.
Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful play, right?
Right, but it's also Christina Kaltenkova who's got 7 goals.
A double drop pass in front of the goalie. You might just want to bury that thing.
Maddie Wheeler rings it around the boards over to Levis.
Momentum shifted a tiny bit. I feel like Minnesota had it there for a little with that Curl, Coyne, Schofield line, and now New York's kind of taking things back a little bit.
Nyland Person across for Harchie. Sirens captain Micah Zandy Hart Hustler able to gain the zone. Cooper, a shot that's fought off by Osborne.
I like that shot. Osborne did not expect that to come at her.
That shoot first mentality that Minnesota has had. And now O'Neal trying to make a nice move.
I love the way she plays the game.
Good scoring opportunities for both sides. Kova decides not to shoot. O'Brien does, but it's iron unkind. O'Neal gets it back. Hands across to Allie Simpson. Bourbonnais tried the shot, deflected off Zumwinkle, and Hensley came way out to grab it.
Little dangerous play there. I think she had a better eye on it than I did, though.
It was a pop fly right toward her, but I guess she opted to play it there rather than let it bounce right in front of her onto a stick. Taylor Heisey facing off against O'Brien.
New York has just been lethal on these faceoffs.
Kova tried the shot, deflects off Batherson. Villiers. O'Brien just wide. O'Brien gets it back. Now Nyland Person sends it deep. Villiers keeps it moving to Zandy Hart. Kendall Cooper from her knees plays it off the glass and over to Hustler, who's able to connect with Curl. 3.5 to go here in the final frame. That pass cut off by Bookbinder. Simpson zips it over to Nyland Person. Sydney Morin skates it through the neutral zone and in for the Frost. Tries the shot, pad save. Puck comes out to the slot and Peyton Levis will skate it out. The race for the puck and Bookbinder gets there first. Now up high for Simpson. Morin flings it out. Now 2.5 to go on the first meeting of the season between the New York Sirens and the Minnesota Frost. New York won 5 of 6 meetings last season. Frost went on to win the Walter Cup. Point Schofield gets there first, tries a sharp angle shot. Couldn't fool Osborne. O'Neal hustling back to negate the icing.
It's a good hard work play there. Avoids a defensive zone faceoff at a crucial time.
Just under 2 minutes to play. Here comes Hustler, has Curl with her. Curl looking for help from the bench. Taylor Heisey trying to settle things down now for the Frost.
Now it's about possession, right? You don't have a ton of time left. You don't want to give the other team opportunity.
Taylor Heisey tries to go backhand to forehand, but unable to get a shot off thanks to the defensive work of Casey O'Brien. That shot from distance found a body in front. Curl coming back into her own zone to collect the puck. And out of play with 1:06 left on the clock. Minnesota trying to back up a 6-2 win on Sunday. with another win here tonight, but New York has proven to be a tough task for this Frost team. Imlerova trying to work through a couple of bodies. Cooper has Shisheva. Shisheva takes a shot. Osborne grabs it with the glove. We said it at the intermission, but for both goalies allowing 2 goals earlier in this game, they've both been excellent for the most part.
And the 2 goals that were allowed, I mean, pretty point-blank opportunities on both sides. So pretty good goaltending tonight. I think all around it's been a phenomenal hockey game. I've been impressed by both sides. The goalies have certainly kept the teams in it. And the faceoffs, I mean, the faceoffs have been a huge part of the game tonight.
Yeah, this Siren squad trying to win its 5th straight game looks so different than they did just last year. A season in which they finished dead last in the standings. They certainly look like a team that is hungry to make the playoffs for the first time in their history this year. Cherkowski up ahead to Zandihard, who joins the rush. Gerard tried to feed it back to Cherkowski. Final seconds tick away on the 3rd period. And we will go to overtime. Tied at 2 between the Frost and the Sirens. And this will be the first overtime game of the season for New York.
Love that.
I love it. It's where you see the value of shootout specialists, so to speak. Casey O'Brien gains the zone now for the Sirens. First overtime game of the season for the Sirens. Minnesota, their 4th. They are 1-2 in games decided in overtime this season. Sarah Fillier has O'Brien with her. Fillier. Top of the slot, Fillier looking for a lane. Tried to feed Bourbonnais streaking toward the net, but couldn't connect. Back come the Frost. Heisey with Coyne Schofield. Opts to shoot, and Coyne Schofield buries it. A beautiful 2-on-1 for the Frost, and that'll do it.
Well, unfortunately, there's risk and reward in the 3-on-3, right? That's a great play for Minnesota and a not great play for New York. But what a goal, what a night.
So 2 wins in a row for the Minnesota Frost. This game had just about everything. Minnesota now jumping into sole possession of 2nd place in the PWHL standings. New York's win streak has come to an end at 4.